Okay, today we're going to be doing YLOC 5th grade lesson 10 round decimals. So, use the number line to round to the place value of the underlined digit. So, let's look at the underlined digit here. So, we see that 0 is the underlined digit. So we look at the number that comes after, and it's 8. And since it's above 4, we would round it to 0.1. 0.1. Now let's try number 2. So we see that the underlying number is 7, and then if we look at the number after, we would round down. So this would just be 0.57. Now let's look at number 3. The underlying number is 4. We look after, since it's 5, we round up. So it would be 0.15, since we round the 4 up to a 5. Okay, and for this, 3 is the underlined digit, and since 9 comes after it, we know that the 3 would round to a 4. So for number 4, it would just be 4. So round to the nearest tenth. So the tenth value is the digit that comes after the decimal point. So for all of these problems, it would be these numbers. So for number 1, we know that the 4 that comes after the underlined digit would make it just stay the same. So it would just be 0.4. This one also 0.6 because the 2 just lets it stay the same. 0. And or in this case the 7 comes after, so you would round up, so 2.4. Number 4 is, since it's a 2 that comes after, you would just do 3.14 since it just doesn't change. Now for these numbers, let's underline the 10th again. It's the number that comes after the decimal point, so in this case it's 7. For number 6, it would be the 0 here. Number 7, it would be the 8. It would be the 8. And then number 8, it would be the 2. So for number 5, we know that the number that comes after 7 is 8, and since it's above 5, or 5 or above, we round it up, so this would be 4.8. Number 6, number that comes after, we would round up since it's 5, so this would just be 5.1. Number 7, we know that after 8 comes 9, so we would round up, so 1.9. And then for number 8, just 0.2 since it stays the same. So now, let's round to the nearest hundredth. So the nearest hundredth is after the 10th, so it would be 2 after the decimal point, so it would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So for number 1, it would just be 0.23 since 4 comes after. To number 2 would be 0.93 since the 3 comes after. Then 2.46 because the 9 makes us round up. Number 4, it would be 5.68 because the 8 makes us round up, or the 8 makes us round the 7 up. Number 5 would just be 4.01. Number 6, it would be 1.88. Number 7 would be 3.46 because the 6 makes us round up. Number 8, 0.84 since the 2 just lets us stay the same. Okay, round to the nearest whole number. Okay, so in this case now, we're now rounding to the decimals. And we're rounding to the whole number, so it's the number that comes before the decimal. The actual number, large number itself. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be these numbers that are the whole numbers. So we're rounding to them. So now we're looking at the number, digit that comes after them. So it would be the 10th in this case. So this would just become 1. This would become 3 since we're rounding up. 3. This would become 5. This would become 6. And this would become 7. Number 7 would stay the same because 7.1, the 1 makes it stay the same. Number 8, 8.9 would turn into 9 because the 9 makes a round up. Okay, now problem solving. So we're given this information. Given this information. Now let's read number 1. The Mackinac Straits Bridge in Michigan is 0.72 miles long. What is its length to the nearest tenth of a mile? So we know that the bridge is 0.72 miles long, and it's asking what is it to the nearest tenth. So we're rounding to the 7 here. We're rounding to the 7 here because that's in the tenth value. So it would just be 0.7, and then remember to put your unit in miles. And then number 2, the Golden Gate Bridge is 0.795 miles long. Round its length to the nearest hundredth of a mile. So now in this case, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. So it would be 1, 2, so we're rounding to the 9 here. And then since it's 5, we would round up, so this would become 0.8 and then miles long, or zero point 0.8 miles. Number 3, which bridge is closest to 1 mile in length? The Verrazano Bridge, the Mackinac Straits Bridge, or the Golden Gates Bridge? So which one is closest to 1 mile in length? So with the data that we're given up here, the information, we know that we're trying to look for the number that is the greatest here. So we'll look at the first numbers, 0.7, 0.7, and 0.8. So we know by default that Verrazano Narrows is the largest, or the longest bridge. That is closest to 1. So it would be the Verrazano Bridge.